Hello, friends and kindred souls. Welcome to Sage Thyme. We are doing a second reading for the day, and we're up to the sun sign of Pisces. Of course, we're all 12 signs, so however this fits with your natal chart, or if it simply resonates and you allow the experience to work with you, then that is perfectly and exactly in alignment with what is meant to be at this time. So the first message that I got as I was setting up for your reading was everything's coming into balance. And I thought, ooh, clarity, and I heard balance. So balance is a big thing for you right now. And it was, well, I won't even explain it. It was just in the details as I was setting up, and it was becoming very clear that that was a message for you. So let's see how that plays out with the cards. I'm going to be pulling your spread with the Green Witch Oracle deck. And as I was shuffling, one card did already come out. But we're going to go ahead and do the thing where I pull cards as we go and see how that works itself out. I like that we have an initiation card though. And this did want to come out ahead of time. The So card. Look at that gorgeous card. I'm bedazzled by it. We've got the third eye opening in a very solar or cosmic star sort of way, as it is also being represented in a holographic type of sense from the base of a seed with its sprout coming up. And that seed really, really feels like it's in the womb area. It says at the bottom, planning, setting intentions, and optimism. So let's see what else comes out with the Green Witch's Oracle deck. We'll do a few cards from that. And you know what better time to start planning and setting intentions, feeling that sense of optimism when things start coming into balance. And you know, we just had Mercury station direct on Sunday with the full moon in Gemini. And oh my goodness, that was quite a Mercury retrograde alongside Mars is still retrograde in Leo. And it'll continue its retrograde into March, April with its shadow period, as it continues its retrograde in Cancer. So we've got Mars still retrograde in Leo and then Cancer. Mercury completed its retrograde in Sagittarius, correct? Anyway, so however that pertains to you, it stationing direct now a couple days in or a day in, I have a feeling that you're starting to just now start seeing things come in, messages coming in that you weren't getting, deliveries working out that were just a mess before. I'm just hearing everything electric as well, including your body and your nervous system. So if you've had some stagnations in your neural pathways, whether in your brain tissue or throughout the body, all of our nerves extending out and coming in, afferent, efferent. If there are glitches and you are experiencing more pain, or glitches, excuse me, stagnation in any of our meridians or pathways or vessels, anything within our body, when there's a stagnation or a stuck spot, there's pain. So apparently that really wants to be said, because it is a great indicator when we have pain that there is a blockage in a pathway within our physical, neurological, cellular, emotional meaning, and energetic spheres. So maybe that's part of this too. I love tangents. It's the Gemini in me, I think. This seed, this third eye, being also represented in that inward fractaling sense of the seedling in the earth being the womb. So something you might want to tune into and reflect upon if there were any pains in things that relate to the womb area, that first and second chakra. House, home, of course. Just a general sense of safety and belonging. Maybe you've been feeling this. There were definitely some waves through the collective during the Mercury retrograde of misinterpreting things that weren't said. So circumstances, two crows just flew over. Very poignant of deeper truths. So you know those things when you're speaking to another person and their mask, their frontal delivery, their self, everything's fine. And maybe even they believe it, maybe they're faking it, who knows, it's kind of irrelevant. But you have this sense, this inner intuition of, no, I can tell they're not speaking the whole truth, whether they know it or not. What I noticed about this last Mercury retrograde was it was kind of a inverse, inside out situation of that. And there was a lot of misinterpretation in intuition. And it was really good because it pushed us, if we were aware of it, to recognize, to either try to hone in on a more clarified truth, the crows going over, the pure and clean and clarified truth. And if that wasn't available, which Mercury retrograde can definitely posit, the knowing that we just don't know, that it feels and seems like somebody is being nasty or depressed or deceptive, what have you, on some level, consciously or unconsciously. But then knowing that there's a good chance we may be wrong, that the radio frequencies just in the air are distorting everything. And I think that right now you're going to be seeing a more clear truth of what's been going on, and that it was neither a deception, if there was any perception of that. And it could be even simple things like Amazon deliveries or mail or bills getting goofed up, your bank account getting glitches and things like that. These things are all going to be revealing themselves as what really was going on. And I'm getting this kind of, it was no big deal sort of vibe with the clarification, which is great because it, for those paying attention, it is very humbling to be able to, Pisces, go, oh, I was leaning on an intuition that I thought was true, but there was a distortion in there, and I kind of knew it, felt it, but I dismissed it because I wanted to trust my intuition. And that also has, it's bringing up for me Saturn stationed direct in Pisces. So we're getting that clarity and cleaning up the delusion of distortion, energetic frequencies, which can have nothing to do with the individuals involved necessarily on a obvious level. So sowing the seeds of love, planning, setting intentions, and optimism. There is clarity coming in with that because there is balance. All right, the two cards that came out just now, walking staff and bee. I said bee, looking at the image of the bee, and I heard the audience that's viewing this video hear bee as in B-E, being. So being in that balance, being in the clarity that comes with that balance, and the walking stick is talking to me about having a third, like a tripod, right? We have two legs, a third balancing lever, balance, the third in the middle. So when we have two sticks, two legs, we can kind of balance, but when there's a third, we're in a tripod state, and that's far more stable, which makes us more stable and more reliable. And that's all that wants to be said about that right now. the two things that are coming through with this B card, community, cooperation, and sweetness, with the B, the being somebody that is reliable and balanced because they're more stable, which is bringing to me that you're becoming more open or allowing or willing to reach for extra support. And maybe that is coming from community. I think you've been on this path alone, like this fellow up here, for a long, long time. But now you have a community. It's coming in. And I don't think you thought you would ever have a community again. They're quickly becoming like a family. And there's caution to that. And all these little pieces of pollen that you've got on your legs and that are flying around you, little gold nuggets. I have this sense that there's a feeling of, is this too good to be true? And also, I don't want to be pessimistic. And also, I want to be cautious because the universe has been teaching me some very hard lessons kind of thing. So ride with it, ride the wave, knowing that you could fall off the surfboard, but also knowing that if you stay strong and stable and you utilize that extra third pole of stability, third staff of stability, third person of stability, that you can have that strength and also be limber and loose. There's in the novels by Frank, I'm forgetting his name, the Dune novels, there's a methodology of fighting that the sisters, I don't remember all the details and the names right now because my brain doesn't work when I'm channeling messages. Anyways, the sisters use called weirding, and it's spelled like the old Germanic spelling of weird, W-Y-R-D, but how it's described in the books discusses this incredible fighting technique. It's very similar to Taoism in a way, and Tai Chi, how you can be very grounded and planted, like deeply into the earth, and you can be a very small person, you know, a 110-pound, 5'2" person, and have this very strong warrior come at you, but with this deeply, heavily rooted and super loosey-goosey embodiment and stance in a way. You're able to easily move and arch and sway out of the way, essentially letting your opponent wear themselves out, letting their aggression and assertiveness exhaust them and be used against them. I don't know why that's coming up. Maybe that's, I don't know why. You know why. You know why. The next card that came up is Mint. Abundance, persistence, and proliferation. Pisces, you've got some beautiful things happening. You have been imagining community, support, and financial abundance. It's right here. There it is. Community, the bee, support, the walking staff, and financial abundance. It's very clear this mint is talking about financial prosperity and abundance. It's got the salmon little keychain here up at the top, which talks about swimming upriver, going against the stream. And so no doubt you've been feeling like you've been going up against the stream for a long time. And I have a feeling that you are starting to feel and experience that pressure and torrent of oppositional energy clearing up and loosening up. And here the salmon is its normal, its regular green and kind of silvery with a little bit of pink colors, which is telling me that no, That's not right. No, I don't know. You know, sometimes, it's so funny, I have these moments when I do readings where I think it's one thing and I'm getting, I'm allowing myself to be in my thinking mind too much instead of letting go of knowing anything and letting the messages come through. And so I'll feel myself making a mistake, and usually I'll stop the reading and start it all over again. And I'm feeling right now that this is part of the message, that it is so important to let yourself make mistakes and even be a little embarrassing. I mean, to get it wrong is okay, and to show people that you're okay with loving yourself, with being gentle and supportive to yourself when you make mistakes. So hopefully I'm doing that for myself. Well, I know I am right now, by not pausing, by not being embarrassed that I was going in the incorrect direction, and then stopping and saying, oh, wait, no, never mind. It has nothing to do with the salmon, other than the going upstream thing for sure. So let's do, I'm gonna pause there because the Herbal Astrology wanted to be a part of this reading too. And I wasn't sure if it wanted to be a overall, but I believe that this So card, that first card, is the overall reading or overall message. I noticed, it's funny how easy it is to forget things from long ago, but I noticed when I opened this deck, this message really, really highlighted itself for me, and I thought, has it always said that? Have I not ever noticed that before? You are the medicine. Two things. Has it always said that? You have jumped timelines. You have shifted timelines, meaning that you have completed a progression, a cycle of inner alchemy so intensely and so significantly that it has changed the entirety of your internal electromagnetic resonance, from your cells to your organs to the entire conglomerate that you call me, you. You've changed it so much that the actual fabric of reality has shifted around you, and you'll be noticing that. You probably are already. The character roles of the different people in your life are shifting. It's like everybody got new scripts when they showed up to their acting job, and the scripts had the names were swapped for each script, and even the scripts are a little different. Everybody's a bit more, I want to say advanced, but it's not just that. It's more like their narratives, their character roles, their egos, personality selves have been shifted in such a way, seemingly subtle, but to you, you can detect it, that is this like perfectly tuned, oppositional energy to your personal resonance, but in a way that is so symbiotic, so collaborative, and so supportive. And not meaning that everybody's going to be so supportive. Even in the beehive, there's the naughty bees that just want to buzz around with discord and distorted buzzing dances. I'm making that up. I have no idea if bees actually would do that, but I would assume, nobody's perfect, not even the bees. And so, but you in particular are now resonating in a way that's like this perfect receiving and giving peace. It has to do with, I think it was in the Scorpio reading, I was talking about the shape of a puzzle piece, its indentations and its extensions shifting so that it was creating a new shape in all ways to bring in the perfect counterparts, co-resonances, and even antagonists. The kind of antagonists that when you get in right self, in right alignment, you'll see things just work out. The kinks and the knots just unravel and work out. The trick is when getting hit with something that feels a little jagged, or you don't, want to work with it necessarily because it doesn't seem soft and ideal and easy. The trick is to go, oh wait, okay, I can work with this. What's the first thing to do? Pause, take a breath, get within my heart, be still, and then allow. And you've been doing this so many times, right? That now when someone comes along with something antagonistic or oppositional, I believe that you're able to catch on really quickly to that recognition of, oh wait, yeah, when you feel that like ignition of a reactivity, here's what I do, number one. And number two, there is always a gem at the end of this collaboration. There's always like some incredible spark of wisdom or insight and or opportunity and blessing. And sometimes it's all of them and more. So that had to be, a lot of things have to be said today that in this reading. I love it that I honestly have no idea what I'm saying, but I trust that they come together. And if not, happy Monday. All there is love, and then a bunch of other stuff. All right, let's see what the Herbal Astrology, it's trying to recalibrate itself after I just shifted the entire conversation up from the shuffling moment. Isn't that it? If you took a choreography dance with a group of people, and one person who's a bit of, no, not even a bit of the leader, it's like a beehive, right? You've got all these bees and they're all dancing and jigging and shaking and they're giving directions to one another. And there's this one who comes in that like learned tap instead of contemporary. And they start doing tap and everybody's like, what is this? We do contemporary and ballet. And that's how we do our messages. And they're like, cha, 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 tap. That's how I talk. And everybody goes, all right, well, we can't change that. And this bee is clearly telling us something that is important. There's like this new patch of flowers that we don't know about that's got some super sweet pollen and nectar in it. And we better learn this tap. And so they incorporate tap. So now they've got tap, ballet, and contemporary. And all of a sudden, the entire hive has evolved because there's more depth and richness and context and detail that they never knew. And dimensionally, they have incorporated more dimension. You've got something like a 3-dimensional, from the outer viewpoint, chestnut, to, if this were transparent, we could see inside, the seed inside now becomes a, I think it's, mathematically I'm speaking, 5th dimensional. So there's layers within layers, and now the layers within the layers are interacting with all the other mini layers, and there's more dimension to it. So you have incorporated more dimension. That is what I was trying to say. And you've got an awesome dance now. So here's what we got. Poppy. See, your tap dancing bee found this incredible field of poppy flowers. And as we all know, the poppy seed is where the it's what opium is created out of, which creates that mind-altering state. And so here the seed is talking about, or the card, excuse me, is talking about the dream. So the bee has found a beautiful patch of flowers, and it's not deriving opium, and it's not getting high or anything like that. But the bee has found a field of poppy that has pollen and nectar for the hives that is opening the bee's mind and is teaching the bee, boy, we're really with this bee situation, teaching the bee new ways to dance like tap. And not only new ways to dance tap, but a new way to dance tap in a way that works with a community that only understands ballet and contemporary. And this is what the poppy field is offering. This is the dream. There is a Sanskrit word, I think it's avienda. Oh, I wish I would have looked it up. I believe, I meant to look it up actually recently. I believe it means, or it's translated literally as the non-dream, which would be described as what we would call a common reality. I mean, really, until we start opening ourselves up, we see, or we're taught to see, especially in Western cultures, that everything is what it is. What you see is what it is. I believe it when I see it. And what the poppy is teaching us is, in order to see it, believe it first. Instead of waiting to believe it when you see the results, believe it and then watch it unfold. And not always the way that we think we're going to see it, right? That's the limited framework of mentaling, of cognition, of neural pathways. But when we believe in something, we're experientially feeling it, experiencing it. It doesn't have words and definitions and strict lines and colors and boundaries. It has possibility and mutability and new colors and new shapes, new ways of showing up that we never even imagined, but is so much better than what we could have conjured with our thinking mind. This is what the bee did. The bee found a field with flowers that opened up his sweet little buzzing mind and made him trans-dimensional. The bees, their shape, their weight in proportion to their little wings, the fact that they fly, it defies physics, which means to me that they have found a way to touch and enter and exist within a reality that says, oh, we have different physics in this world, in this reality, and smaller wings and disproportionate weight and size actually means you do fly better. And so the bee can anchor its perception and its recognition of that truth, that it can defy what we would call gravity and proportion and wings and everything, ability, airlift. It can defy all that because where it also resides is in a reality where it is all perfectly correct to be able to zoom around and fly. And the bee carries that reality with him. He carries his awareness of that reality while he also works and flies and buzzes in what we call reality, what I often refer to as the common reality. You know, there are many, many indigenous tribes and peoples that recognize, I just lost it, that recognize that this reality is a dream, right? We live and are the dream of the dreamer. And knowing that, and knowing like the bee knows, that the dreamer has many different dreams, which means there are many different realities. Some are more tangible and physical and heavy and dense, and some are very etheric and all kinds of things, and some are just everything in the middle and beyond our conception, until you allow yourself to not know anything anymore. And you open that mind and you open that third eye and you let the wisdom of the stars come down all the way through all of your channels and take root in that first chakra and become also a reality for you. And the dances of those other dream worlds, those other realities, become integrated and embodied as a possible dance within you. And when it goes all the way down to the base of your body, that first energetic sphere, the root chakra, it roots down into the earth and then sprouts up through your body in being. And you become it. And as it's rooting its roots down with the proper open channels in your physical and energetic body, roots down through your body and through your feet into the earth, then it becomes part of the grid that spreads its roots throughout the entire world. And people are able to touch into that. And that is the miraculous phenomenon of surrender and possibility. Yeah. Let's take a look really quick before we wrap this up. I want to look up the poppy 41 and let's just see if a couple things pop out for us, and then we'll wrap this up. Herbs of Neptune. We just spoke about Saturn going direct in Pisces. You are Pisces. This is a Pisces reading. Of course, we have Neptune still in retrograde in the last couple degrees of Pisces. So how perfect, right? The Latin name, Papaver somniferum. And the keywords are mystery of dream time, the great unknown, breaking addictive habits, releasing unhealthy relationships, aligning to new intentions. These are all things that we've talked about, with the exception of the breaking addictive habits. And I actually wanted to bring that up because, of course, poppy with its seeds, being able to create opium from it, it did bring up for me, I heard a reminder to share the wisdom of plant spirit medicine. And that is, you can connect to the medicine of a plant without consuming it. And you can, and I say this with 100,000% certainty, with the right connection within the heart, which is a place of openness, allowance, and great humility, reverence, and respect for the poppy plant, you can call out to the plant spirit of the poppy. Papaver somniferum, I am here, I am present, and with my word I call to you in humble reverence. I ask for you to teach me and guide me your wisdom. And may I learn and understand intellectually and in embodiment your medicine and how it can benefit me and my best life, as well as that of this planet as a whole, within a universe as a whole. And when you say something to that effect and you connect with your heart and allow it to open, you will feel the spirit medicine, because the heart is such a place of purity and reverence, and the intention that comes from it is pure and reverent, and so that is what shows up. And then you allow yourself to stay out of your head and your thinking, and the poppy plant spirit will come in and it will share with you some incredible things. And I have a feeling, I don't have a feeling, this is what's coming in, It will help you teach your body and your neurology, your physiology and your biochemistry, I'm hearing, to release addiction. Just release it, period. Not simply or solely releasing the addiction if you have any struggles, which I think we all do with something, at least to a point in our life. Maybe not everybody, but whether it's addiction to work, exercise, substance, relationships, codependencies, solitude, abstinence, money, on and on and on. A really standard way of the human is to have attachments. And attachments really are a mudslide into addictions. But there is a way to be connected with anything at any particular time and be fully detached from holding on to it. And I believe that's what I'm feeling right now Poppy wants to offer, is how to releasing unhealthy relationships, aligning to new intentions, breaking addictive habits. That's what Poppy gifts us. So I'm going to quickly scan this and see. I feel like there's some things in the text. So it talks about the land of Sumer, and Sumerians grew poppies all the way back in 3400 BCE, cultivated the plant medicinally and recreationally for opium, calling it Herbal, or the joy plant. The author goes around to discuss all of that. No. All right, I'll read this last bit of the guidance and we'll see what it says. Poppy's piercing dual nature and history are closely representative to that of the Devil card in the Tarot. The Devil represents the darkness of material obsession, addiction, and pursuit of false ideals for the sake of vanity and personal gain. And I will add to that, the Devil card for me also often represents confusion and self-doubt, which goes perfectly in line with material obsession and addiction, things like that. The constructs of this reality, Saturn, which is one of the planets at the top, you'll see there. Saturn and Pisces, Neptune, Saturn and Neptune, which are in the sign of Pisces. Oh my goodness, how embarrassing that I'm just getting that now. Not embarrassed. The constructs of this reality, Saturn, have enabled a contorted darkness that does not belong to the soul signature of this divine flower, Neptune, for Poppy. Look deeper through the lens of her beauty to find that she embodies the mystical magic of the dream time, the place of unbound potential where we regenerate daily and commune with the divine. Be aware that excess and abuse of mystical powers or substances means that you'll likely end up lost in her dark labyrinth. Break the temptation and addiction to thought patterns and experiences that lead to escapism and empty intentions that align to the light found within the mystical darkness found in the dream time. Balance. Wasn't that the first thing that came out? You were finding balance, and from that you were getting clarity. You have this extra bit of stability now. And with that, in the material world, material abundance, but not in excess. And you've got community now, which means a wonderful overflow ability of distribution of your abundance from your overflow. Whether that be monetary, which I really feel is coming in for you. But more than that, you're bringing your wisdom and embodied abilities from the time that you spend in the other dream worlds, in the other realities, into this reality. You're anchoring it, sharing it with the world as a whole by being a representative of it. And I'm hearing you're doing it with class, but I'm feeling like it's more like you're doing it with sass. I don't know, but you do. So that is today's reading for you, Pisces. Thank you so much for joining me. I always appreciate your presence here. And thank you for the likes and subscribes. Always comments are so appreciated and welcome. And I am looking forward to spending more time with this reading. It's been a lot of different things coming through. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Blessings.